Om Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibhidiritam Kalma Shapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatam Bhuvi Grananti Ye Burida Janaha. Let us resume our discussion on Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual discourses with his intimate devotees at the Dakshineshwar temple premises on 22nd of February 1885 on the occasion of his birth anniversary celebration, the public celebration following the Sunday of his almanac birthday tithi. Here he was talking about bhakti. This appears in the 5th volume of the original Bengali presentation, Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, under 16th chapter and section 4. 5:16:4. In the Hindi translation, it is under the 2nd volume and chapter 106, section 4, and in the English rendering, it is the chronologically presented the chapter 32. Sri Ramakrishna is talking about bhakti. Now, devotion is of various kinds. One is devotion with motive, devotion for a purpose of gaining something else. That is called Sakam Bhakti. And there is another section, devotion without any motive. This also we discussed at length, and Sri Ramakrishna said that Keshav Chandra and other followers of Brahmo Samaj could not first appreciate or understand this sort of devotion. The bhakti mantra, you try to please God. Now, we are all used to do any work for some purpose, with some intention, with a motive. So, but that is not really the devotion as per the terminology of the devotion schools. That is an outer approach, preliminary approach towards God. But when the devotion becomes advanced, then it turns into the pure devotion, Shuddha Bhakti, Nishkama Bhakti. Wherever there is any hope of return, that is not bhakti, that is business. You want to please God, and in return you want something. That is not prema. Bhakti culminates into prema, pure love towards God. And that is the purpose of this life. Now, when the devotion gets culminated into pure devotion, then that is called ecstasy, Urjita Bhakti. That was what we are discussing at the end of the last Sunday class. There is another variety, is Urjita Bhakti. Then the person becomes lost in joy. So, as a quote has been given by Sri Ramakrishna, that Sri Ramachandra said to Lakshmana, wherever you will find this exuberance of joy, exuberance of devotion, excessive devotion. Know for sure that I am there. Because when God appears, then we become lost in our thought of God. So, normally we have the mental state, the conscious, subconscious and unconscious. Chetan, avachetan and achetan corresponding toward wakeful state, dream state and deep sleep state. But when we are interacting with the divine, then the mind gets elevated into a fourth level. That is called Ati Chetan, superconscious. In that level, our behavior becomes erratic. When the mind goes to the subconscious level, we become insane, then we also become erratic. On the other hand, when the mind becomes elevated to the divine, we become ecstatic. So that makes us immortal, and that is Urjita Bhakti. There the person loses control. When a person becomes mad, he loses control of himself. There is nobody in the conscious level. Similarly, when a person becomes elevated to the superconscious, he has no control, conscious control of himself. So, he is behaving in a very peculiar way. That is called ecstasy. That you have seen in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. Here, Sri Ramakrishna is saying, there is another kind of love known as Urjita Bhakti, an ecstatic love of God. That overflows, that is where, when it is awakened, the devotee laughs and weeps and dances and sings. And Chaitanya Dev was an example of this type of love. In the life of Chaitanya Dev, we saw he used to behave like a mad person, in singing, dancing, and weeping, shedding tears, rolling on the ground. So, this sort of example we have seen that Sri Ramakrishna is saying, and he is confirming that Ramachandra told to Lakshmana that this state is not an ordinary state. The state is the correspondence of manifestation of Urjita Bhakti. Know for certain that I am there. It is a state confirming the presence of the divine. God says that I am there, wherever it is there, don't take it lightly. He is not a mad person. And we have seen in the life of Sri Ramakrishna that he used to be under this state most of the time. And that's why he was termed the mad Brahmin of the Shwal. Pagal. Sri Ramakrishna का जीवत दशा में उनको पागल कहा जाता है, because people couldn't understand that why is he behaving like this without any rhyme or reason. They could hardly appreciate that it is in highest the presentation of the human state. Human state rises to the divine state. Now, with this, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna has one remark of M. And he says here that श्री रामकृष्ण क्या अपनी स्थिति का इशारा कर रहे हैं? क्या श्री रामकृष्ण चैतन्य देव की तरह अवतार है, जीव की भक्ति सिखाने के लिए अवतीर्ण हुए हैं? Now, this is the golden statement. ठाकुर की इंगित करितेछे निजेर अवस्था, ठाकुर की चैतन्य देवेर न्याय अवतार जीव को भक्ति शिखाइते अवतीर्ण हইয়াছেন. Now here Sri Ramakrishna is not a statement of Sri Ramakrishna, it is a remark. And it is a very, very significant remark that this sort of ecstatic love is not a bogus proposition. People around Sri Ramakrishna, they are witnessing day and night. So naturally, by giving some quote of the scriptures and some citation of some example, Sri Ramakrishna is confirming the authenticity of such experiences, indicating that I am also a proof. Sri Ramakrishna का जीवन स्वयं एक उदाहरण है. Unfortunately, this statement has been deleted in the English translation. They thought it is redundant, though it appears in the Hindi translation. So this is a golden statement where Sri Ramakrishna is indicating the purpose of his advent, that why God appears in this world assuming a human form. This is a $1 million question. That the God is infinite. God has no reason to come to this world. In the world we come to exhaust our karma. Either there are several the agenda. We come to the world first to fulfill our unsatiated desires. We have a lot of desires to be fulfilled, which could not be completed in our last birth. We are privileged to have this birth, to get a chance to fulfill our desire to whatever possible extent. Number one. Secondly, we have to exhaust our prarabdha. Whatever work has been done, that result, we have to bear the fruit. We have to accept the fruit. If you have done good work, then we accrue some punya, merit, and we enjoy the good merit. If you have done some bad work, we have accrued some sin, and we have to pay for it. So, whatever be the result of the action of our sum total accumulated action, either to enjoy the fruits, good fruits, or to suffer for the bad fruits, we have been born. And we have to do it. Nobody else will do it for us. And now, third reason what he is telling, that this may be the reason for the normal people, but then the third reason is to offer love to the divine. There is also a reason that we know the Gopikas. The Gopikas were great saints. They did not come to exhaust their karma or to have meet some desire. They didn't have any desire. They came just to enjoy the love of God. And for that, God has to appear for to promote the loving relation of the devotees. God has to appear. So God comes to this world. So not for these reasons, none of these reasons. Here he says that the purpose of God, one of the purpose of God is to train the devotees to love Him. So here we have to understand the golden purpose of our life. Why are we born? We are not slaves. We are all free beings. The purpose of our life is to realize God, is to love God. But we do not know how to love God. We have forgotten. We are all swayed away by the mentality of loving for some motive. Wherever there is a motive, there is not love. Wherever there is no motive, love for love's sake, that is the true love. Now, how can one person love without any motive? In order to demonstrate how to love God, God appears in a human form. We know that in the Krishna avatar, that Gopikas and Radhika ji offered love to God. So how the love should be offered? that God appeared again in the form of Chaitanya, and through his life, through his demonstration, example of his life, taught others how to love God, so that to set a model, so that they can make a replica and fulfill the goal of their life. The simple thing that we are asked to love God, we do not know. Just to teach us how to love God, God takes a human form to set up a model. He has many other purposes, that he comes to set up the dharma and the reward the saints, save the saints and destroy the demons, etc. But here the purpose has been indicated, and that is Sri M is put a question. Intelligently is put a question, because this is not so clearly pronounced in our Shastras. His purport is, his comment is, that is Sri Ramakrishna indicating that he himself is an avatar and he has come to teach devotion, to demonstrate devotion for others to follow. Sri Ramakrishna was repeatedly telling that to love God is the goal of life. So he has demonstrated how to love God. So he used to love the Divine Mother and offering everything. So the life of Sri Ramakrishna is his message. If you follow the life of Sri Ramakrishna, then you can understand what to do in order to reach our goal. So with this, Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning that the purpose of our life is to love God, and how to love God has been taught by him. So if we catch hold of the life of the avatars, and the most recent avatar is Sri Ramakrishna, then the purpose will be solved. He is drawing God becomes man so that man may become God. So God is demonstrating how to love God. How? By his Urjita Bhakti. His ecstasy. Sri Ramakrishna was almost all the time he was in ecstasy, and he demonstrated how to love for love's sake. So by seeing him, his way of life, his aspirations, then we can understand and try to follow. So by following Sri Ramakrishna, we will end up with getting his grace, getting his vision and fulfillment of the goal of our life. We will continue further in our next Sunday class, which will be 2 weeks from now, because next week we will have the Swami Vivekananda's birthday celebration. Niranjanam nityam ananta rupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namama. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Let us conclude with a chanting of the Lord. Please join with me. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om